Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for checking out the channel. Natural Grappler, Fight Night UFC 167. It's in the books. It's a wrap. It was an interesting night of fights in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Real fast, I just want to give you my breakdown of the action. Starting off with the first fight on the main card, Venata versus Medeiros. Very cool fight. Very cool fight. I like Venata's style, man. He seems like a cool person outside of the octagon, and his fighting style is unique and interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. Medeiros, I've seen him fight plenty of times, a couple times I'd say. But yeah, just quick rundown on everything. Let's see here. Venata, significant strikes, 99 out of 188 attempts. Headshots, 36 out of 107 attempts. Body shots, 29 out of 38. Venata was cool, man, just because like he fights with his hands down and he's got good motion and good striking ability. And Medeiros was hanging in there with him, but there was definitely just an awkward flow to the fight that Medeiros really just couldn't get a grasp of, and Venata just handled business. Very, very cool. Very cool. Ray Borg versus Bontarine. Yeah, I'm writing a blog post about this. I think I am. I think I'm gonna post that one. But yeah, I made a video about this. Ray Borg did his thing, man. After missing weight, I was concerned. I thought he was gonna be gassed out, sluggish, kind of giving like a fight that wasn't a valiant effort. But no, not at all. I mean, he didn't make the weight, but he was very, very impressive, very, very dominant, and showed why he's been in the top of the UFC's weight divisions for a while now. I was surprised to see that he wasn't ranked, but after this fight, I believe he will be ranked. And as a side note, the guy one of the people that he lost to, Casey Kenny, he actually had a fight on the same card on the prelims versus, how do you say his name? I don't want to butcher the name. I'm rewatching the fights, by the way. I got the fights rewatching right here. But yeah, Casey Kenny, Merab Dvalishvili. Man, I can't say the name right, but I'll practice and I'll get it better. But that's my goal for 2020. I was good at it before, but I gotta pronounce all these names properly on the first try. I used to just be able to look at a name and get it right. Merab Dvalishvili. I think that's how you say it. But anyway, Casey Kenny was a person who beat Ray Borg in the past. Casey Kenny came off the Contender Series, and he's a dominant fighter, man. But Casey Kenny versus Merab, for me, my perspective of the fight was that Merab, his aggressiveness and speed and level changing caught Casey Kenny off guard. He couldn't find his timing. Casey Kenny couldn't find his timing with Merab. Merab was striking from far away. He would just come running in and do a punch. And the good thing is Kenny would actually like respond with multiple strikes, multiple attempts. And this is mostly in the first round. Casey Kenny would drive forward and Merab would throw a shot or two, and then Casey Kenny would respond with maybe 2 or 3 of his own. So it was very, very competitive. The highlight of that fight was when Merab, he actually did a level change. Casey Kenny threw a strong, I think it was a left hand. Merab ducked underneath that, threw Kenny over on his shoulder, and you're waiting for the big slam, right? You're waiting for the big slam. Merab pauses, and he just critically analyzes the outcomes. And so after he does his calculations, he finds a way to throw Kenny to the ground safely and then start grounding and pounding. And it was dope. It was very dope in the first round. In the second round, the onslaught came. Merab started to just slowly take firm control of the actual match, and it was a decision win, but it was a dominant decision win. Merab, I believe he broke a personal best with his takedown record. I think he had 12 takedowns out of like 24 attempts or 22 attempts, something like that. And same for Ray Borg. Ray Borg, I think he broke his personal best, like 10 takedowns in the fight or something like that. So do we see Merab Dvalishvili versus Ray Borg in the future? It's too soon to say. It's not my job to say. But it's an interesting concept. 2 high-paced fighters with grappling backgrounds and yeah, Merab's fighting style, man, he's got that weird karate style mixed with like highly intelligent wrestling style. It's pretty amazing and fun to watch. And he's always smiling. He'll punch you and smile, and take a couple punches and smile. He's always having a good time. But back to the main card. Yeah. So Weaver versus Vargas, that ended up in a disqualification. So not much to say on that one. I'm rewatching the De La Rosa versus Barella fight. The Sanchez versus Pereira fight. That was just a mismatch to me, man. I don't know what happened. Sanchez was looking, he had the dad bod out there. He was looking like he should be fighting at 155 instead of 170. I'm not going to touch it, man. Look, do what you do. But it was a mismatch physically. And Pereira, he was holding down, just beating the mess out of Diego Sanchez whenever he can get a hold of him. He was being athletic. Pereira was being athletic and showcasing his awesome style. Unfortunately, that fight also ended in a disqualification for Pereira because he kneed Diego Sanchez while he was down, and the judges asked Diego Sanchez, "Do you want to continue?" But he got a cut on top of his head, and that was the only thing that actually made him bleed. So I don't blame him for not finishing the fight, taking the disqualification victory. It was a legal move. And for the finals, Corey Anderson versus Jon Bones. Very, very interesting. I say interesting because I was listening to people, the pros, Chael Sonnen and Dan Hardy and people like that just talk about how wrestlers fall in love with the right hand. And I was kind of just, not really cognizant of it, trying to think of it too much that this might be a thing, even though I know it is. I didn't really think Corey Anderson, I didn't think it was going to be like a factor in the fight. I was like, oh yeah, wrestlers tend to do that, but no big deal, right? Well, Corey Anderson, he came out there ready to fight, man, ready to throw some hands. And ultimately, it ended up costing him. He was trying to implement his plan of wrestling. You could see the plan being implemented. He was like, yeah, fake the takedowns, but give him these hands. And, his pace was strong. Jan's pace was a little bit slow. And I believe that's kind of what happened. I think Corey was going for like a combination and then going to chain it up with some wrestling. But before he could even think twice about it, Jan's left hand just came in and clipped him and sent him to the canvas, and his hands just buckled. And Jon Jones is in the crowd watching this too, which makes it even more exciting. So the question becomes, what do we do? Do we have Jon Jones versus Jan Błachowicz? Do we have Dominic Reyes versus Jan Błachowicz? Or do we just do Jon Jones versus Dominic Reyes, wait for the winner, and then give Jan a chance? Maybe. So, yeah, Albuquerque, New Mexico, fight night with those 2 disqualifications. It was a weird situation because both disqualifications were because of the same thing. Ray Borg, again, he had a great showing. And, yeah, overall the fights were good. But we got to see what happens with this heavyweight division. That's my Fight Night 167 recap. Thanks for checking out the channel. I'll be posting some blogs, journal entries on naturalgrapher.com. Thanks again for checking out the channel. All right. Hey, I'm out.